Little cameras like this Fujifilm are some of my favorite cameras to take photos with, especially when I'm traveling. They're light, they're inexpensive, and they take incredible photos, but there's nothing to grab onto. However, this could change because Peak Design just introduced the micro clutch, which promises an easier way to grab onto smaller cameras. Peak Design's created two versions of this product. An L-shaped one for larger cameras that have a hand grip, and a smaller I-shaped one for smaller mirrorless cameras. This video is going to focus on the I-shaped clutch because that's what fits best on these smaller cameras, but everything's pretty much the same for the L-shape. Peak Design ran a Kickstarter for the micro clutch to gauge people's interest and to pre-fund the creation of this product. It looks like they funded it. They had a goal of $50,000 and they raised $1.5 million. So apparently the people want this product. I thought the micro clutch is interesting. However, right now it doesn't ship to Canada, so I had to ship it to a family member and pick it up when I was visiting them recently. Oftentimes, the larger a camera is, the easier it is to grip. This Sony a7 IV has a nice hand grip here, so it's easy to grab. With these smaller cameras, everything is smaller. Smaller lens, smaller battery, and little to no hand grip. In the case of my X100V, I have added a thumb grip, so it's easier to grab. However, it is not always enough. The way that I've been traveling with this camera up until now is by using a shoulder strap so that it's on the side of me, so that it's not too far to grab if I see something to take a photo of. However, if I do want the camera in my hand so that I'm not going to miss a shot, there's really not much to grab onto, and I am gripping this thing for the life of me. Let's take a peek at how you attach this thing. Inside the box, you've got the clutch, a tripod plate, and a couple bolts to attach it to the camera. There's also a set of instructions that are a little bit more complicated than I think they need to be. The clutch itself has a pretty clean, nice design. It has Peak's logo on the bottom, and there's a little cutout where you would attach an anchor link. So you screw a bolt into the 1/4-20 mount on the bottom of your camera, you slide the micro clutch plate onto the bolt, and you tighten it up. If your camera doesn't have these little triangular loops for the side of your camera, Peak has given us a couple, along with a tool that helps us easily weave them onto the camera. Once those are attached, you just take the strap and weave it through those and push them onto these little buttons which will hold the strap in place. There's also some subtle numbers on here for sizing so that if you do detach the strap, you can easily put it back on the same one and you won't get confused. You can also tuck the extra piece of strap into here so it's not flopping around, and it makes the strap look a little bit cleaner. I noticed that the paint on the plate started wearing away right away, which is kind of unfortunate, but if you want to put your bolt in the same spot every time, maybe you can use this as an indicator. I think it's thoughtful to include a specific tripod mount for this product. This one's a little different than most Arca Swiss tripod plates, and this one's got magnets, so you're not going to be losing it. One of the hesitations I had before purchasing the micro clutch is that it would not integrate well with the Peak Design camera straps that I use daily. I knew the micro clutch did not touch the side of the camera, so you could put an anchor link here, and they've included a spot on the bottom you can attach a link as well. When you use the top and the bottom like they recommend, your camera sits kind of funky on your body. I would not recommend doing this. By having an anchor link on the bottom, I really quickly found out that when you go to place your camera down, the anchor link drifts underneath the camera and it's not going to sit flush. Thankfully, there is some space on this other triangle where the clutch attaches to that you can put an anchor link on here as well, and you can carry it like a normal photographer. Also, have you seen that Peak has now created black anchor links, so you don't have to use these red ones if you don't want? I like black, so I think this is an awesome option. The strap on the micro clutch is adjustable, but realistically, I think you're only fitting 2 fingers through here. I find it pretty comfortable, and I've adjusted mine to the point where I can let go of the camera comfortably. It will sit beside me, and if I see a photo, I can quickly whip it up to my face, and it's not flying out of my hand. I think it's worth noting that when you adjust the plate on the bottom, you're also adjusting the tension that the clutch puts on your fingers. So if you're changing your battery mid-shoot or SD card, you're going to want to make sure that the screw goes back in the exact same position. With my X100V, the battery lasts a whole shoot, and I'm only taking the SD card out at the end, so this is a non-issue for me. For every Peak Design product I have that requires adjusting, they've used this hex-shaped tool, up until now. For the micro clutch, they're using this new tool that would be similar to a flathead screwdriver. If I had to guess why they're using this new tool, it would be that it easily integrates and hides in the micro clutch itself. I also like that if you were to lose this tool, you could use a flathead screwdriver to undo this bolt. It's also very satisfying to snap this tool back in. The clutch has some nice pivot on it so that when my fingers are in here, I can easily touch all of the buttons and change all of the dials that I need to while shooting. I was speaking to a friend this morning, and she feels that most camera companies do not consider women when they're designing their products. She has a Canon R6, which in my opinion has a decent sized grip, but for her, the grip is not large enough because she has longer fingernails than me. She said that she'd like to have an even larger grip on her camera to make room for her fingernails, or something like this on the side so that the camera can grip onto her and give her some peace of mind. If you're someone with longer fingernails and have also experienced this, then these clutches might be for you. These clutches have not been out for long, and I haven't had an opportunity to take mine on a trip yet, so these are just my first impressions of using the clutch. I had a lot of questions about these clutches before picking one up for myself, and I have a feeling I'm not alone in that, so hopefully this answered some of your questions. It's freezing, it's -7 out here, and it's probably gonna snow any day here in Calgary. I'm going back inside. We'll see you in the next one.